Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's POAP Community Call. We are definitely excited that you are deciding to spend your morning, afternoon, evening, or 3 a.m. with us. Definitely appreciate you coming in and spending time with us. So, we have a lot to talk about today, but I do want to say that, of course, we are using the Guild platform to distribute our POAP later on in the call. So, if you have not already, be sure to go over to the Join Guild channel here in the POAP Discord and join the guild, get your guild door role, and it'll make your life a lot easier whenever we do get to our POAP distribution. But my name is Mr. Mojo, and I want to go ahead and introduce everybody that is up here and talking to me about this great, wonderful thing that we call POAP. So first, I have JENetics from POAPathon. Good to have you up as always.
GM, it's GM somewhere.
It is GM somewhere. We also have Nixorokish from GitPOAP and EthStaker. Always a pleasure.
Hey.
And we have Fiore, the POAP Community Manager. Always nice to have you up as well.
Hi, everybody.
Then also from POAP, we have iDecentralized. Good to have you up, Mr. Growth Manager. Who for me is in complete silence.
Yep, me
Yeah.
too.
Oh man,
Too.
gotta love it, gotta love it. It's always something every week when it comes to microphones on Discord, right? And then last but not least, we have Superphiz of EthStaker up here as well. Hello, sir.
Hello, it's dinner time somewhere.
Yep, it's dinner time where we are, that's for sure. But all right, we have quite a few topics that we're going to talk about today. I'm definitely looking forward to our community discussion topic, but at the top of our list of things to discuss today, so POAP has recently been hitting quite a few milestones, just one right after the other. It's literally this happens, and then the next day this thing happens, and this is coming up, and then we even hit a milestone today. So the first one that I have on the list is that POAP ended up reaching 6 million total mints. So I'm going to go ahead and in the community calls channel, I'm going to link the 6 millionth token mint. And let me check and see what POAP this actually is. It's not one in my collection. It is the YAM 1-year anniversary. So congratulations to that very long address for being the 6 millionth claimant of POAP. But I think that this is a really cool achievement that POAP was able to reach. It just seems like more and more people are starting to use POAP, and these numbers just get hit even faster. And like I remember, what was it? Maybe it was just a few months ago we were talking about, yay, we finally hit 1 million mints, and now here we are at the end of 2022, and we're talking about over 6 million now.
I would love to see a plotted curve because it does definitely feel like it's been ramping up over the past year, like very quickly. I wonder, hey, Anthony, are you able to, or I thought you were here. Is anyone able to create a curve of those distributions?
Probably on a platform like Dune. There might even just be a Dune dashboard already created for POAPs. I know that there was one for ones that were on mainnet, but in terms of it being on Gnosis, I'm not sure. See,
Yeah,
of
I
course.
already shared the link. I'm sorry, I was checking the website and I couldn't do all at the same time. Like,
Yep.
the Dune dashboard has the XDAI and also mainnet POAP wallets, and I'm checking if the mints are there as well.
Yeah, that's the wallet count on top. Let's see if we can find one for
For the mints.
Yeah, I'm trying to find mints as well in this. So shout out to POAP Sam. Which one for creating this
Here,
dashboard?
I found it.
All right, she found it.
There, it's another dashboard specifically for XDAI, and it has the POAPs minted, and the wallets as well.
Here, it's loading for me. I definitely want to see this curve because I definitely think it's gonna be like very exponential. Man, this is actually causing my computer to go crazy. Oh no, are you guys there with me?
I'm there.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
I'm just making sure because this dashboard actually caused my Chrome to like crash.
Hmm.
Oh
Weird.
goodness, yeah, I know that's what I'm saying. But no, okay, I definitely think it's really cool. I'm probably gonna have to look at this later, unfortunately for me. But anybody able to look at that and just like screenshot it and throw it in the chat so that we all can sort of just take a look? Oh, Whiskey's saying that his crashes as well. So I don't know, maybe there's something wrong with Dune at the moment. But yeah, I'm willing to bet that it's definitely some very large exponential curve the further you go to the right. Yeah, Cryptocyrus is kind of confirming my suspicions. Not really working for everyone at the moment. There we go. Did Nima give us one that looks good? A little bit. That may be yeah, like it just spikes up at the very end. Yeah, it just really shows you like the amount of adoption that's going
Hey,
on
wow.
with POAPs. Yeah, it's like bam, it just spikes up.
That is really insane. That really like I try not to talk about the value of individual POAPs, but that really like suggests value in those low number POAPs.
Yeah.
Value. I mean, what is value? It's weird. Like I know we go back and forth on that a lot. Like, is it? And I don't guess I mean necessarily financial value, but like the value of having a POAP with that low of a number in your wallet. I have to go see my first POAP now.
Yeah, when it comes to like the token number, I don't know. I'm gonna check and see. The first pull-up I ever got was from you, Superphiz. So I'm gonna see what number that was really quick because I'm kind of interested.
I have 154.
Wow, that's like really down there. See here.
That's early.
Superphiz was my first POAP dealer too.
I get the kids hooked early.
Yeah, you do. I hear that you even have some toddlers who hold POAPs.
How many toddlers do you think that I have?
Maybe.
But man,
Singular.
this curve is just wild.
Yeah, I'm about to post my very first POAP. Thank you, Superphiz. But yeah, it's just under 500,000. So, that's still like early adoption, but I feel like I'm not in like that first tier of OG. You know what I mean?
Is that a local? Was that a local event?
Yes.
That's cool.
Now I'm curious what my lowest number is.
My first one, and I had some shame over this, but I'm over that shame. Is a DevCon 4 POAP that I bought on OpenSea.
You
so
should have shame over that.
Well, that was before I bought it like a long time ago before we really had like these kind of informal rules. The first one I actually earned is 8,159, so still not terrible.
Yeah, my first one is just over 100,000. Mine is 108.
I'd like to go find a double-digit one now.
All right, Jen, I'm curious. Do you know the digits of the first POAP that you minted?
I'm looking at it. It was one from Bankless DAO, though. I think it was their second or third community call was my first POAP.
Oh wow.
Nice.
So it was over a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I'm just seeing this Constitution DAO POAP. That's happening again, right? Or they're auctioning another one, but maybe there's not a DAO vote buyout. Do we know about that?
I don't know anything about it, but does anybody know if Brooke is the bidder? Because that's all I care about.
No, I don't know much about that, to be honest with you.
Brooke failed us, okay? She wasn't ours and she didn't care about us.
She wasn't ours, right?
She was not. We thought that she was, and she won. And we were like, yes, we won. Brooke won. We won. And then we found out later that Brooke was for the other team.
So it turns out she's a winner and we should recruit her. That's what you do.
She's too good for us.
But all right, Theo, you posted in chat that your lowest token is 1041. What POAP is that?
Yeah, can I get a POAP for that? It's one of the Ethereum Buenos Aires meetups POAP.
So you claimed it in real life?
Yeah, I can share the screen.
Oh, that
Yeah,
is so
I
cool.
claimed it in real life. Patricia gave it to me.
Wait, there are
used
people
to-
doing it in real life?
I thought we were all just
Sorry,
computer simulations.
please. I didn't hear what you said.
I said, wait, I didn't know people were doing things in real life. Everything I do is virtual.
Yeah, back then, pre-COVID, we were doing things in real life. Yeah,
The pre-COVID era. Oh goodness. But also hitting on some more milestones. So Superphiz, you kind of made it your mission to be able to get the 888,888th POAP event. I'm gonna link that in the community calls chat as well. But all right, like I said, you made it your mission to get this event ID. So tell us, what is this POAP?
I don't know
and what
that
are you
it was
trying
a
to use it
mission.
for? Hey,
I don't know
it
that it's fair to
definitely
call it a
was.
mission. I just happened to log into the events creator at the time. That was shortly after I had created several fake events, and just because of that dumb luck, I was able to create event 8888, and
Did
whenever
you
No.
notice what a coincidence it was that your POAP was an 8-ball and that the event
Wait,
ID
what?
was 8888?
I really had no idea that would happen that way. It was just an absolute coincidence. But anytime I guess I get tired of creating POAPs that are about me, and I realize the power of POAP, and I want to create POAPs that benefit communities and benefit other people. And so one of my best memories of any 8 is from Austin Griffith's Pogs NFT, or no, Pogs POAP NFT. It was a POAP. Or no, it was an NFT. I'm not sure. But at any rate, the image of that 8-ball stuck in my mind, and I was like, Austin Griffith, he runs a program called Build Guild, where they use scaffold.eth to teach people to program with the Ethereum smart contract platform. And so I was like, why not use that as a way to draw attention to Build Guild? And so that's what I set up the POAP for. I haven't distributed it yet. I'm still thinking of like what's the best way to get it out. But it is, just because of the fun of the numbers, it is kind of a neat thing, and I'm really looking forward to finding a good way to share it out. If anybody has ideas, I'd love to hear them. I've thought about like people who have completed Build Guild challenges, or maybe using POAP checkout, but I'm not sure about POAP checkout. I really just want to acknowledge people who have participated with Build Guild.
Yeah, you were talking about this a little bit in our organization chat. In Logic Beach, he was really giving you some good ideas. I'm trying to scroll through and find them at the moment, but I'm kind of failing at that right now. But trying to find a way to actually give this to people in a meaningful way, and just not have it be like, hey everyone, here you go, it's the 888,888th POAP, and here you go. But like also trying to bring awareness to the Build Guild, right? Yeah, like that can definitely be a challenge too.
This is the kind of drop that if you do it correctly, it becomes a badge of honor for the people that hold it. And if you botch it, it's just another POAP.
Yeah.
And so I always, my goal with any POAP is like it, for whatever reason, it doesn't have to be the same reason for every POAP, but every POAP ought to be special for some reason. It ought to like be really important for whatever reason that is. And one importance of this POAP is the 8888. But another one is like just recognizing the value of Build Guild. So that's kind of where I want to get it. And even if I fail, it's still a good learning experience.
Yeah, but then also, when you think about how you had this long string of similar digits, there's 2 milestones now that are basically they are literally back to back. So you have the Vanity 999, pardon me, the if I can say it correctly, the 99,999th POAP, and then the very next one is going to be Event 100,000. So you have 2 back to back that are going to have, at least in terms of the number for the POAP event, they're going to have some vanity to it. And it's going to be interesting to see like what people decide they want to do with those, if like curation is going to pay attention to it as well.
I thought there would be some competition for this one, and really it was just me competing against myself. But I do think that because I've done this, because I've brought some awareness to vanity event numbers, that it's likely to increase competition for those numbers in the future.
Yeah, and really sometimes I think about, okay, when it comes to these sort of special milestone POAPs, especially for 100,000 events, it's going to make me wonder, like, who's going to end up getting it and what is that event going to be? Because part of me wants to be like, oh, POAP should just totally give it to themselves and have it be some special celebration thing that they end up doing. But maybe that's just my bias. I'm unsure. Let's see here. And also another milestone. So this happened today. Now, I'm going to be honest, it has been flipping back and forth. But the POAP YouTube, today was the day, at least temporarily again, flipping back and forth, that it has reached 1,000 subscribers. And I went ahead, I made a bit of a commemorative tweet about it. So again, congratulations to the POAP YouTube channel for reaching its first 1,000 subs. Every time I look at it, it's like 999, then it's 1,000, and then it's 999 again. So hey, maybe, just maybe, if you want to help solidify that, I'm going to go ahead and just post the YouTube channel. You can go ahead and subscribe to it. So things that get uploaded to the YouTube channel at the moment are these community calls. This past week, last Thursday, the second episode of POAP Citizens happened. And that was also uploaded to the YouTube channel. And then today, GitPOAP had their 5th community call. And Nix, maybe you want to speak on that for a moment.
Sure. So we had our 5th community call today. It was good. It was good with a guy named Manfred Turan. He is a French developer, an entrepreneur, and open source guru. He's worked on over 400 different open source projects, which is absolutely wild that anybody has like the lifespan to work on 400 open source projects. And one of his life's goals is to encourage development to steer more towards open source than proprietary software. So it was really good to hear from him, especially because that is one of GitPOAP's goals. And so he had a lot of good advice for both contributors and projects, and layers like GitPOAP that are trying to connect those contributors to open source projects. It's on the POAP YouTube channel under the live section if anybody wants to take a look at it. I will say about halfway through the call, I almost felt like I had to remind him that it was a family-friendly call because I heard him use the F word.
Yeah, like he just kept using it over and over again. I think he used it like 4 or 5 times in the same sentence, and I'm like, oh goodness, like he doesn't understand this is meant to be like family friendly.
He was saying fork, but he has a French accent.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah, no, I totally thought he was dropping the F-bomb as well. I was like, there's no way this guy is such a sailor mouth that he's just saying the F word over and over again. But okay, he's saying fork. All right, makes sense.
He said forking. He said that people were forking his project. It took me a second. I was a little taken aback for just 1 second. But yeah, he's an incredibly effective human being, and it was really good to get his perspective on open source contributions.
Yeah, all right, excellent. Yeah, it's always good to see more content being uploaded to the POAP YouTube channel, and so for it to finally reach that 1,000 subscriber mark, hey, here's to the next 1,000. But all right, so I do want to move on topics, and so something that I want to talk about, so Vitalik, he is excited about POAPs, and I'm going to go ahead and post his recent blog writings here. And so this is a post where he talks about things that are exciting him in the Ethereum ecosystem. And so to give a little bit of a synopsis about what his article is about, so he says that enough time has passed that there are a few ideas that are completely unexplored, and we've also come closer to identifying fundamental limits of this space, but it's also a world where we have seen genuine and growing adoption of a few key applications that are meeting people's real needs. And those are the applications that we need to focus on. So he's saying, it's time to really hone in on what we know that we can use this technology for and to make them great. And he continues on saying that my excitement about Ethereum now is no longer based in the potential for undiscovered unknowns, but rather in a few specific categories of applications that are proving themselves already and are only getting stronger. And so he starts going over some different aspects of the Web3 and crypto ecosystem. But for our purposes, he highlights POAPs when he writes about some identity applications. And so in that section of the blog, he identifies some aspects of identity, which includes things like some basic authentication, attestation, names, and proof of personhood. And when you put those all together, Vitalik believes that having one centralized entity try and achieve all those aspects doesn't really work as well as having many entities that are focused on, as he says, quote, specific tasks that are individually valuable and adding more and more interoperability over time. And then he ends up providing examples of identity applications, but when it comes to POAP, he explains that, hey, POAP, it's this general purpose protocol for issuing tokens that represent attestations. And then he gives some sort of like question examples, some rhetorical questions being like, have you completed an educational course? Did you attend an event? Did you meet a particular person? Well, POAPs could be used both as an ingredient in a proof of personhood protocol and as a way to determine whether or not someone is a member of a particular community. And then he explains that that can be valuable for governance or airdrops. But then he sort of takes it and he sort of puts it all together and wraps it up in one big, one big pie or whatever you want to say. And so I just kind of synopsis this. He says, when I log into Blockscan chat, I sign in with Ethereum. So now you can see my ENS name. And then, to fight spam, Blockscan chat, they could verify accounts by looking at on-chain activity or POAPs. And a higher level of verification could involve checking for bounces of specific tokens, maybe ownership of specific POAPs, proof of personhood, etc., etc. And then the network effect of these different services combine to create an ecosystem that provides a very powerful option for users and applications. And then an Ethereum-based Twitter alternative could use POAPs and other proofs of on-chain activity to create a verification feature that doesn't require conventional know your customer types of verification, and it would allow anons to participate. And then really to just sort of bring it all together once more, he starts going over, pardon me, I lost my place. Let me try that again. To finish that off, he says that it's equally important that there could be some pedestrian applications that are relevant to simply helping people make a living. So like verification attestations that can make it easier for people to prove that they are trustworthy for things like rent, employment, or even loans. So maybe taking the idea that you can look at someone's POAP collection and you can use that as a basis for like, okay, is this person real? Now we're more likely to give them a loan, for example. And then to end his statements about identity, he points out that, the big challenge for this ecosystem is privacy. And I really just want to open this up after giving a briefing on what all he was talking about. But I think this is really interesting that, one of the things that it cites one of the most prominent faces and voices in the entire Ethereum ecosystem is excited about POAPs. And sorry if that was a lot of an information dump there. I had a lot come out of my mouth there. But yeah, any thoughts on Vitalik saying that, POAPs excite him?
I think we've been talking for quite a while about using POAPs as recognition to being inside of a community, your dedication to that community, and the utility that that could bring is, I think, where he's trying to aim us. And that's really cool.
Yeah, I think both Patricio and Vitalik get the reality that blockchains are cold and impersonal until you make them personal. And so POAP really is, I hazard to say, the first platform that makes the Ethereum blockchain personal to people. Like it's the first thing, you're not just thinking about money, you're thinking about emotional connections to events that are chain related. That's a really huge barrier. And I'm not aware of any other platform that is coming anywhere close, even in identity management, where you have things like the Gitcoin passport. There's no emotional connection to that. Like, it's just checking a bunch of boxes. But my POAP collection, it's personal. It has a lot of personal meaning to me. Like, I couldn't just lose it and replace it because it's so much of my own identity. Like not just chain identity, but it's my own identity. And I think the thought leaders are moving past thinking of the Ethereum chain as a financial chain and looking at it as kind of fabric of other kind of the social fabric or the government fabric through DAOs. POAP really is the only thing that I'm aware of that gets into the emotional connection of people with a chain, and it's really cool. And I'm glad that's not being overlooked. I'm glad that Vitalik draws attention to it because it is so valuable.
I actually think more than it not being overlooked, I think it's the end goal, because I think the only reason why we have financial applications for mostly financial applications on Ethereum right now is because those are the easiest ones to implement. They're literally just numbers. They don't take a whole lot of ideas on how to implement them because they're largely transferable from the traditional finance. You just have to figure out how to make it fit on blockchain. Like, these are the end goal type of applications that are harder to build in because they are so different from the traditional.
Yeah, I mean, I like your idea of them being like the end goal, but I really think that they're more of a progress step forward, because I don't know what POAP is going to look like in 10 years, but I don't expect it to look like what it does now.
That's true.
So, I mean, I don't think you're wrong. I just think that it's going to evolve and it's going to get us closer to that post financial system chain that really is more than I tell you, it's so funny. I talk to people who are interested in crypto finance, and they look at me like I'm an alien when I tell them that, there's so much more to it than just money. Because for most people, Ethereum is only an investment. They don't get anything past that. And so it's really exciting for us to be on the cutting edge of what is a use that is far more than a financial application.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm here. I was talking on the community call today about the need to be able to identify yourself and have reputation without having to dox yourself, because there's no way to do that in the traditional world. And these kinds of applications are what address that. You can't have an uncollateralized loan on a Web3 application without some sort of reputation at stake.
Yeah, Superphiz, it's interesting that you bring up that whenever you conversate with people about Ethereum or about this Web3 ecosystem, that many people do see it as, oh, I just want to put my money in there, and then eventually I want to take my money out, and the dollar amount is more than what I put in. But whenever you introduce me to everything here, I saw it more as like, wow, this is something that I can get into, and it's a lot more. It's like an actual, like, honestly, it's kind of become a little bit of a lifestyle for me. You know, whenever I go out in public, I'm wearing a POAP hoodie, I'm wearing a GitPOAP shirt, I'm wearing my ENS domain hat with my ENS domain on it. You know, I care a lot more about the things that Ethereum is able to provide to me in terms of being able to show who I am and what I care about, instead of how can I make money from this today? How am I going to make my bank account have a larger number today? And so you're right, having some of the big thinkers take some time to really focus on, here are the things that are a lot more than just how to grow your bank account. It is important. And whenever I do talk to people about this ecosystem, I almost never talk about the price. And in fact, I don't want to say I roll my eyes, but I like mentally roll my eyes whenever someone goes, "Oh yeah, the price used to be 3,000, now it's 1,000. What happened there, buddy?" I don't care about the price of Ethereum. I care about the cool stuff I can do on it.
Exactly.
Here, here.
And there was something that I wanted to bring up too, but then I kind of lost it, and it's really unfortunate because I feel like it would be kind of cool to hit on, but I think we're just gonna have to kind of let that go into the ether, if you will. So, but yeah, I think it's great that this is being hit on by Vitalik. He's speaking about it more, and he makes a really good point where POAP is focusing on this sort of attestation of who you are. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Superphiz, you were sort of mentioning how a POAP collection is a reflection of who we are. I was speaking to this individual named Jesse, and he is a moderator for the Sea Bumps Ocean Crew, which is a project that I believe we're going to end up spotlighting next week. But he showed me his POAP collection, and he was telling me how he was really into like cleaning up beaches and making sure that those like nature areas are clean and people are able to use them and it not be filthy and stuff like that. And he really cares about making sure that people are going out and doing it and using POAPs in order to sort of stoke people to do that. And I looked at his POAP collection, and I mean, it's filled with what he likes to do, which is go to these beaches, clean them up, and just sort of promote healthy environment. And yeah, that's totally what POAPs are about, in my opinion, too. They are things that help identify who you are and help show other people more of who you are in a way that can quickly be explained through a visual. And yeah, Fio, I think that that Isabel tweet is really good. I am my POAP collection, and my POAP collection is me, but literally. I mean, it's true. Whenever I look at my POAP collection, it really is a reflection of who I am. It shows the communities that I'm involved with, it shows the initiatives that I'm involved with, and it also shows the things that I care about. Which, in a moment, we're going to talk about something else. It's unfortunate that Anthony isn't able to be up here today, because this is important to me too, but I think maybe we should get some final words on Vitalik before we move into that topic, if anybody would like to have some.
Yeah, what I liked about the article is that Vitalik's not only excited about POAP, but also on the collaboration of different identity platforms. He said something like, you can use, as a user, you can use multiple and different identity decentralized applications, and combine all of them to create your own reputation on the Web3. So I think that's a great point, because your POAP collection probably shows which events you attend or what you like to do, but you can also use ENS to prove who you are in the Ethereum ecosystem. You can also use a proof of humanity to prove that you are a real human. You can also prove that you use social application as lens. So I think it's I like this coordination. How to say it? This thing about coordination, because I think it's what this is like the most important about Ethereum, that we can coordinate and we can use multiple applications to show who we are and what we do, and to build reputation within the Ethereum ecosystem.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point you make up, because when you think about something like, say, a Facebook, or you think about YouTube, a lot of what goes on in those platforms are stuck on those platforms. So for Facebook, for example, like, everything that I put on my Facebook profile is really only good on Facebook, but a lot of these platforms that spawn in the Web3 space, you're exactly right. They use things like sign in with Ethereum. They use ENS to help identify you through a name. Some have POAPs integrated so that you're able to see what people are into and what they're doing. So it's really neat that all of these puzzle pieces are able to come together to make a fuller picture of not only not only who you are, but what these platforms are able to provide to you in a seamless manner.
Definitely, yeah. And regarding what Fiz comments about the financial applications of Ethereum, it happens that, especially with the NFT ecosystem, that almost all the people think on NFT as a way of speculation. And there is a talk from Patricio at NFT NYC that is super cool, because he said that not all NFTs are created equally. So he speaks about the different use cases for NFTs, and of course he talks about POAP. I'm gonna share the link to the talk so you can watch it when you have time. But POAP is giving NFTs a new use case, a different way to use NFTs.
Yep, I totally agree with that. But all right, so I do want to move on to our next topic, because we're already at about 40 minutes in, and we've only talked about 2 things. So, I mean, it is what it is sometimes. But all right, so as I was saying earlier, it is unfortunate that Anthony is having some microphone issues, some connectivity issues with Discord, so he's not able to be the one to lead this topic, but we do want to bring awareness to an initiative that he is running at the moment. So it looks like somebody's going to go ahead and post a tweet for me, and I do appreciate that. But Anthony, he is hosting a toy drive, and he is using POAPs in order to raise money for the cause. So as the tweet says, all the funds, they're going to be used to purchase toys and gifts that are going to be given to the Children's Hospital in Los Angeles. And you use POAP checkout, you get a POAP for it, and then the money is going to go towards these children to get toys. And then one of the really cool things too is that you're able to use the We Look Moments integration that's now in the official POAP app, to where there's going to be pictures taken of the donated toys, so that you know for sure that your money was being used to bring joy to a child this Christmas season.
I love that so much. There are so few POAPs that like lead to real world real world, tangible donations and happiness.
Yeah, I didn't make a secret that I was cautiously hesitant about POAP's integration of pay for POAPs through things like POAP checkout. It took me a long time to really feel like that could be a good thing. And I, I got there. Like, I am at the place where I feel like it's okay to pay for a POAP. I happily do that on many occasions. This is the next level of that. This is the reason that I came to that conclusion. And it is POAPs serving people, POAPs being used to care for a community. And that for me is a really huge bridge that I look forward to crossing. So like, many of us, if you're here, like, you have a computer, you have more than most people. This is a great opportunity to share that opportunity with other people. And nothing feels more right to me than to use something like POAP to benefit kids, if anyone else. So I really look forward to seeing how it turns out, and I hope we do a lot more of these. I hope we figure out like how to make it sticky. I guess so. This has been out a day, and I think we've had 23 donations. But I really feel like, given the right attitudes, that these things could and should go very quickly, just because it's almost an opportunity to meet someone else's needs, which is really a rare and valuable opportunity.
Yeah, I'm right there with you on that, Superphiz. It's really cool to see that we're able to take these things called POAPs and use it to actually do some real world good. You would see it sometimes with some NFT collections. I was kind of speaking earlier about the C-Bums, um, where, that is more like a traditional, I guess you could call it now, traditional way to have an NFT where you have, so many mints, and then you just use the proceeds from that and you sort of put it towards like philanthropic means. But this is taking the POAP smart contract and using it for that same purpose. But because there are so many things that are built on top of the application layer, or pardon me, there are so many things that can be used in the application layer of POAP that you sort of put them all together, and it allows you to, all right, you use POAP checkout to donate money to a good cause. You're able to use the We Look moments in order to prove to the people who donated and got these POAPs that the money that they gave is being used actually to, in this case, buy toys for children for Christmas. And so you're able to say, yep, this was perfect. My money went exactly to what I thought it was going to go to, and now I have a POAP to remember this moment by, and maybe 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line, you scroll through your POAP collection and you go, oh yep, that's when I donated to the toy drive in 2022. Or even talking about identity. Maybe you're one of these people who are very giving and you have a POAP collection that just happens to be all of these sort of donation POAPs, and you can say, look, I'm very giving, I'm very charitable, and my POAP collection is able to prove that.
You know what? I like the idea of, like, if I ever in the future I was able to give something away to POAP holders, and it's all the POAP holders of this one POAP that sort of got farmed, but it's mostly people, mostly real people who have it. I would like the idea of, like, going through and being like, okay, what's a philanthropic POAP that a lot of these people have, and can I restrict it to people who hold that POAP? Because they're clearly a person who deserves whatever drop it's going to be.
Yeah, I feel like that's a very solid idea to have too. You can use these kind of POAPs to say, you've been very giving, you've been very charitable. Here's like another token of appreciation. Maybe it's kind of like we've been talking about. You have like the pictures that show where your money is going to, or maybe you're able to use it to have some sort of secondary, like, oh, like here's a maybe some sort of platform that people start using a lot or adopt a lot, you can maybe upload like a thank you video to all the people who gave to that cause. And just be like, hey, this is going out to everybody who donated for this. We want to share our appreciation to you, or whatever it may be. So yeah, that's a really good idea, Nix.
I guess the question though becomes, how do you guarantee that the funds are going to the place where you say that they're going? Because the only reason that people trust like the toy drive one is because it comes from a person in the community with a reputation who would not give it to anywhere else. But it's harder for someone who's unknown in the community to come up with a random POAP. And it's like somebody who works for a nonprofit and they have some project that they work on that they love and they're like, oh, I could use POAP for this. It's harder to get anybody to buy their POAPs because they're not well known.
I think that's okay. That's kind of a design of the system, that POAPs themselves aren't trustless. So you sort of have to look at a POAP event to know whether you trust who's promoting it. So like you said that this is I Decentralized. We know Anthony well, and so because he is directly affiliated with it, it goes out to like his circle of influence, his sphere of influence. And then because some of us know Anthony very well, then we're also willing to vouch for it. I think that is that's in some ways a way to keep the giving local and still give people an opportunity to participate, because they're most likely to give to people who they have some kind of direct connection with, not just finding random opportunities and clicking buttons. So I think that trust-based vouch system is probably okay for now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but that is a good point to bring up too, sort of this, if you want to take this idea and scale it up, you do have to really start thinking about how are we going to implement safeguards so that scams aren't happening, people saying that this is going to be given to some charity or to some good cause, and then they just end up pocketing the money themselves.
That's not the role. That's not the role of POAP. That's the role of the people engaging with the POAP. And so, if I'm putting my reputation on the line, and I'm saying, "Hey, I'm going to do something good with this," then I'm really risking burning my own reputation if I make poor choices with it. So, I don't really think of that as a POAP problem. I think of that as an individual community problem.
Yeah.
That's a fair assessment of that. Jen, I actually want to hear your thoughts on something like this. What do you think about, using POAPs for things like charity and donating, or maybe even just the toy drive idea going on?
I think it's incredible and excellent. And one of the ways that we can combat the negativity in the NFT community is to do things like this, because a lot of people, when you talk about NFTs, they think of, again, like we were talking about earlier, you're only in it for the profit. It's all about pump my bags, and you're not thinking about anyone but yourself. A lot of people think about scams in crypto and such. And so when a reputable organization or individual comes online and says, "Hey, I'm going to do this donation collection," and we are able to see the fruits of that labor, it's an incredible thing.
Yeah, it's like using the tools available to change the narrative, because I do agree with you on that. There are a lot of, normies, I guess you could say, that whenever you talk to them about NFTs, they just kind of scoff at you and go, oh, JPEGs, oh, pyramid schemes or whatever, Ponzi schemes. And it's like, well, no, this one's actually a reward for donating to a charity. So, it really is like taking the narrative, flipping it upside down, using the same tools to accomplish that.
Absolutely.
All right, so man, that was already.
Before we go on from that,
please, go
I
ahead.
don't think any of us should shut up until all of those are picked up. Like, this being the first example, at least the first one that I'm aware of this kind of philanthropic use of POAPs. I don't think we should allow it to fail. I think we need to continue sharing it and encouraging others to participate, because it's important that we like let this succeed so we can continue to iterate and make it better in the future. So
there aren't that many of those POAPs, and there are more people in this call than there are those POAPs. So we could very easily mint it out in the next few minutes.
we get that in the arms of the angel. Do you know that?
In the
That's what we
arms
need.
of the angel.
Yeah. And some like we could get like some injured puppies or something. No, wait, okay, now I'm making myself.
Oh my goodness.
Are you injuring the puppies, or you just happen to find some injured puppies?
Whoa. I don't.
Do you think I could injure a puppy, Nix? Come on.
Do you want me to answer that question?
I'm okay with your answer to that question.
But all right, we're already at only 10 minutes to go. That's crazy. This has just been flying by, but I do want to touch on this. So I think I'm just going to kind of hand this off to Theo a little bit. But as many know, maybe not because of the circumstances around it, there was a meme competition that was happening on Hype, but there were some unintended limitations that was causing some low participation. So we decided to try again, a little bit of a different formula. So now the meme competition, it's being hosted here in the POAP Discord. And so if you look, there are the respective channels. They all have their own category theme for the memes. So we basically just said, all right, well, we're going to take the same categories and throw them over there. And we're just going to let that go until next week. And we're going to decide the winner of each category. But Theo, maybe you have a few words to speak on this.
Yeah, for those who already participated on Hype, you are still part of the program, of course, and you will receive some gift. And for those who haven't participated yet, you can find the new channels on the POAP Discord, and you will find the categories there, and you can create your memes, be creative, and you will receive the winners will receive a prize. So I invite you all to participate. It's funny. We are in December. It's Christmas time, so you can all participate and win a prize if you are the winner.
Yep, I think the only thing that really needs to be done for that from POAP's end is I think Anthony has to actually open up the channel, or I guess any admin. They just need to open up the channel for people to be able to start posting. But once that is actually opened up, hey, you know, as long as you have a meme that is it's relevant to the category, it's family friendly, and you know, you don't. I think the other rule was what, you don't have any like external logos or links in the image or like description of the image. Then you should be good to go. And Burrs in the chat asking meme contest. No, that was for Hype automatically posting. It's actually, you know, collecting POAP memes, seeing POAP collection, issuing POAP meme, etc., etc. It is the 5 new channels that are under, at least on my Discord, the 5 new channels that are under the Join Guild channel. But yeah, I don't think there's really much to say. We've already kind of touched on what that competition is about. There is a post on the discourse really going more in depth. Of course, it's just you want to swap out now on the Hype platform with on the official Discord. I don't have that link handy, but I'm sure that somebody can go get it for us. But in these last few minutes, I do want to touch on this community discussion topic because I think it's an important one. And it's talking about fairness in virtual POAP drops. So not necessarily talking about real life events, which are kind of easier, and like they don't necessarily have the same problems that a virtual POAP drop has. But when we talk about virtual POAP drops, now we're talking about in situations like we are right now. We're on a Discord call and we're trying to give out and distribute a POAP through like through the internet, in terms of this is an internet event and we're trying to give it out that way. and it has a whole different set of problems. And I don't know if we have enough time to touch on every problem individually or every issue individually, but there are a few sort of like questions I have to sort of get us conversating. And the first one I have is like talking about issuers' rights versus collectors' rights. And so, what is that balance that we need to find, or how can we even define what is the right of an issuer versus the right of a collector? And maybe Theo, I kind of want to hand this to you since you're the community manager. I kind of want to hear your thoughts on this one, especially since you were part of the curation team at one point as well. I really am interested in your thoughts on something like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think we all want to have a healthy ecosystem, both for collectors, issuers, and for builders, for everyone that lives in the POAP ecosystem. So, regarding rights, I think collectors deserve to receive a POAP when they participate at an event, and that event has a POAP. But how can I explain it? Only the eligible people should receive that POAP. And when we talk about eligibility criteria, we mean that not only the people who were there receive it, because it's not fair for collectors if a farmer get the POAP, because you will share a POAP with people who were not there, and it's not a real proof of attendance. So I think that's one of the collectors' rights, to receive a POAP if they were really there, and only them to have the POAP. Regarding issuers' rights, we have a system which is a curated ecosystem. So you all go through the same process. You, as an issuer, you submit a POAP. This POAP is reviewed by the curation body, and if it meets the criteria, it is approved. If not, the POAP curation body could request changes, and if the changes are made, you will probably get approved. We have a customer support team who is there, I think it's 24/5, and it has from Monday to Friday, and they also work in the weekends, and they all have the right to be attended by curation, by our customer support team. And it's important to know that all the petitions are treated equally, and that we decided to do this. We decided to be a curated ecosystem to preserve the protocol. As you know, it's a proof of attendance protocol, and if farmers get POAPs, we are not a proof of attendance anymore. So that's why we decided to be a curated ecosystem. I don't know if that responds to your question, but I can get deeper if needed.
No, I think you definitely gave us a lot to sort of think about and digest there. I kind of just want to add on to that. Like, there are a lot of things that you said there that I think are like completely correct. Like when it does come to sort of the rights of the collector, if they are participating and they meet the requirements for the POAP, they definitely deserve to receive that POAP. But also when it comes to the issuer, when they put in their petition, they deserve to be treated. Like when it comes to like treatment, they need to show to the curation body that they understand like the process to get their petition through, and that they understand how they need to give it to the collector and everything. But also when it comes to issuer rights, I sort of have this idea that like the relationship between issuer and collector, and I think that kind of hits the second bullet point that I have in our notes here, which is like what should be the expectation like of the collectors for the issuer. Like I can tell you as an issuer, it can be very disheartening when you are trying to make it so only the people who are actually there and qualify get it, and then you have the people who don't necessarily qualify. They get upset because they happen to not qualify and they're not going to end up getting the POAP for that event. Or they I don't want to get I don't want to get too negative, but they kind of just like disrespect you in a way for not just giving them the POAP. And it's sort of tricky to, what's the word I'm looking for? To just like nicely say, hey man, like I'm sorry that you didn't meet the requirements for this, but you're gonna have to wait until the next time. Or, you know, you're gonna have to no, you're gonna have to make sure that you're following all the requirements that we put forward so that you're able to actually claim this thing.
Yeah, it happens all the time that issuers are receive demands or receive messages from people who want the POAP and the POAPs, and sometimes it seems they just were there just for the POAP. And in fact, I had some issuers asking me about that and how to approach these collectors or these users, especially on Twitter Spaces, that sometimes they join the spaces just to get the POAP. Sometimes they don't speak the same language, and they, for example, it happens a lot on the Spanish speaking communities, in which they have their Twitter Spaces in Spanish, and some guy, I don't know, they come and they ask for the POAP in English. So yeah, I mean, they could understand Spanish, but it's weird sometimes because they seem to be Chinese in their profile.
Right, like
so
they're natively.
Sometimes they detect that they probably weren't there listening. They just were there for the POAP because they ask questions about what they talk in the Twitter Spaces, and the user can't respond. So I tell them this, like, if you ask them a question about the event and they can't answer the question, so you won't give them the POAP. And it's not to be mad, or it's not to be
like mean or whatever.
Yeah, mean. It's just that we are not creating events or making events and inviting people just to come for the POAP. We are giving value to, or we are trying to give value to the community with content or with a good interview or whatever. And people shouldn't be there just for the POAP. I mean, the POAP is a gift, and it's a gift that that issuers give to collectors because of their time, their presence, and being there in a meaningful way. So I think the eligibility criteria has to be clear, and that also it's an issue responsibility to check that collectors meet these criteria and that they are eligible for the POAPs.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know, we're already about to hit 5 minutes over, and that is upsetting. I feel like that's kind of on me because I try my best to make sure that we have enough time to speak about everything, and I think that this is a really important conversation to have. So this may need to be something that we talk about next week as well. But I definitely don't want to like end this conversation here, but I feel like, that this is going to like collectors' rights. Now, I don't want to disrespect their time. There are like last week, we ended up having them stay over 30 minutes, which that's not necessarily the expectation of the listener. And I felt bad, like, man, like I really did make them stay over 30 minutes in order to get their POAP. And so, I think for now we are just going to have to sort of cut it short. But I think I'm going to put this topic in our notes for next week so that we can sort of continue and have a more fuller discussion on that. So maybe something that we can have brewing in our brains for next time, and sort of have a more thought out, nuanced response to some of the things when it comes to fairness in what issuers should do and what collectors should expect. But all right, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and start the POAP claim here. While that is happening, actually, while I get that completely set up, I'm going to give about a minute for maybe some final thoughts on like fairness and POAPs before we actually truly get to the collection. Any other thoughts on that?
I think it would be like going to a wedding when you don't know the people, walking in up and going up to where they're giving away cake, grabbing a piece of cake and turning around and walking out. And that's what a lot of people that, we get really feisty about, we call them farmers and poachers. That's what it feels like, is that we've taken all of this time to organize events and to make it a cohesive event or a well-run event, a smooth event, and then somebody's just there to come in, grab a piece of free cake and run out. And even beyond that, what if somebody were to just come in and then whine about them not getting a piece of cake when I'm like, I don't know you. And for
Right.
me, that's where I start to feel less sympathy for those people that are just when POAP all the time.
Yeah, it's kind of this idea of like a negative feedback loop where you're exactly right, Jen. There are issuers out there, that this includes us, where we spend time and energy thinking about the kind of content that we're going to present to the community, the kind of things that we're going to talk to the community about. And then there are some users who they show up to these events and the only thing they care about is getting their POAP, and that's it. Like the value proposition to them is the POAP and not necessarily the content that is encapsulated in the POAP event. So it can be a little bit disheartening as an organizer or as an issuer whenever that happens. But as I said, we're now almost 8 minutes over, so I think we're just going to have to end it right there. Maybe this is something I put at the top of the agenda for next week, so again, we can sort of go over it. But all right, I do have the POAP ready for this week, so of course you're going to go to the Join Guild channel here in the POAP Discord. If you have not already, you're going to want to join the POAP Guild and get your guild door role. And then once that has happened, you're going to click on, let me get it typed in so that it can go. All right, I have sent it. You will click on the link in order to claim your POAP Community Call number 48 POAP. So this week, you have a very limited time to claim this POAP. You only have about 5 to 10 minutes to claim this POAP. So be sure to get in the channel and get it claimed. And we will see you all next week with another hour of POAP discussion. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight, and thank you to everybody here on the panel to talk POAPs with us.
Bye, everyone. I'm going to hop off and claim my POAP.
All right, everyone. I hope you have a great night or a great morning or great afternoon, whatever time it is for you. We will see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 12 a.m. UTC. See you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.